Welcome to Eggcellent Adventures, where I, your host Reec Swiney, take a step away from my duties as a radio and TV personality and give you a first-hand look at my other love, BlackYard Chickenz and homesteading. Take a listen to conversations I have with others who are in farming, homesteading, and connected brands. And some of those conversations go a little like this.
She does say I have too much, though. She says I have too many, but I don't think I have enough.
The chicken math started mathing.
Yep, it's never ending.
I only started with like 4 laying hens. Now I have over 100 chickens and geese and quail.
So the first question we ask everybody that comes on to the Eggcellent Adventures, what was your old cluck moment?
The first thing that comes to mind is when the first time I got locked inside one of my own chicken coops.
We talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Now let's see who's on this episode of Eggcellent Adventures. We are back with another episode of Eggcellent Adventures. Got another special guest coming all the way from Ontario, Canada. Another international episode. Welcome to the show, Sarah of Brooke and Willow Farm, a first-generation homestead. I'm a big fan of their social media pages. They're always so informative. They have the best pictures, some of the best pictures I have ever seen. It just makes me want to go up there and visit. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. We open up every episode by asking, what's your old cluck moment? What is that moment that you knew you were for sure a chicken mama or a chicken person?
Yeah, I thought about this, and I would have to say that it was when I found myself spending so much time in the backyard chicken coop that I would just lose track of time. And then my kids would be like, Mom, where's dinner? And it was just not ready. It was like way past dinner time and time had flown by. And then I was like, wow, this really ties me up, like in a good way. And so that's where it kind of began. At that point, we just had backyard chickens in a small coop in a subdivision. And then it just escalated from there pretty quick.
Chicken math, escalation.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. That's what happened to me. I was in the HOA. Now I'm in 2 acres and now I'm looking for 10.
Yeah, exactly. We're in 5 and I'm sure we wouldn't be opposed to 10. But
how was that move? What did you got when you guys decided, okay, you know what, we're moving, forget this subdivision. We want to be on some acreage and start this homestead?
It was intimidating because neither one of us had any experience with this. Like the chickens were our first step in anything like this. But we both just kind of had this let's abandon all caution mindset. And this property, actually, we had our eye on for a while. And we just kind of sat on it and we just kind of hoped and waited and we ended up having it. So it was kind of a dream come true because it's basically in town, so close to the kids' schools. But it's also on 5 acres and there's a barn and there's lots of space for us to grow. So it's a perfect situation.
I love it. Now I see that you have chickens and you got some piggies when chicken math hit. Are you guys growing anything yet?
Yeah, so the gardens is probably the biggest thing we had focused on for the summer. We got pigs in January. And so that was also very new. Like we had no idea what we were doing. But we're slowly learning about that. We just added 4 pigs to the herd. And so that's going well. But yeah, the gardens kind of is something that we wanted to get on top of. We moved last year in June. And so we didn't have a lot of time to like prepare for them. So this spring we've been working hard at getting them growing things and figuring out what works and what needs to go where. So that's been good. And then we have lots of plans. We have to fence in one area of the paddocks. And then once that's done, there is no limit. And so I think my husband's kind of holding off on finishing it because he realizes that then anything is possible after that.
He's being very strategic with the build out.
He definitely is. And I understand that. Like I complain all the time about how I'm overwhelmed and then
you want more things.
And then I want more things. Like I'm just constantly on Kijiji, like, where's the llamas?
So that's it. Is that the next step, llamas?
Possibly. Like there's a few things I really want. They're all pointless. Like there's no purpose to them. And so there is a point to them. They're animals and they're amazing. But I think what we're finding the balance in is budgeting. So for the most part, I'm home with the kids and he works full time. And so
Gotcha.
it's always like, what can we afford? You know, there's that whole, they're a hay burner concept, and like, they don't really make the farm any money. So we're just trying to find our balance there. But yeah, definitely llamas, mini donkeys, mini horses.
Gotcha. So those are things that help with mental health. So they have a lot of purpose.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think just from the budget standpoint, he's like, let's hold off, but
Gotcha.
figuring it out. And then actually all our kids will be in school starting this fall. So it'll be a whole new opportunity then.
We've reached that part of the show where we hook you up with some insider information, and this time it's some egg side information. Y'all know what I mean. Because people ask me all the time, how do you get your chickens so fluffy and healthy and happy? And their eggs are so bright, beautiful, and they taste delicious too. I would love to dedicate all those things to me coming in and having a great time in that chicken coop every day and shaking it up with those ladies, but the fact is, it comes from a healthy and balanced diet of Purina's Layina. That's the brand we use. Whether you've got laying hens and you want to go with the Purina Layina plus omega-3, or you got a bunch of baby chicks running around in your brooder and you go with that Purina Start and Grow Crumble, you can't lose. I know we haven't. So visit their website today, and in 3 easy steps, you can get discount coupons for the Purina product that's right for some great nutrition for your animals. I did it myself, and it only took me about 2 minutes. It's absolutely worth it. And to make things easier, we have the hyperlink on our website, BlackYardChickens.com. Just look under product of the month and you'll see the link right there to go and try your Purina Feed Greatness. And through their trial program, they can pair you with the right nutrition and let you try it with your animals and see the results. Now, I can tell you all day how Purina Feed Greatness has been absolutely phenomenal for my chickens, goats, ducks, and rabbits. But you can see for yourself. Go to BlackYardChickens.com. Now, let's get back to this week's adventure. Those are dream animals, but let's talk about the homestead right now. How long have you been in it? And what were some of the initial challenges? Because I know you jumped into a gun hole, same way we did. So I want to know, like, kind of a little bit more detail on the story.
Okay, so we've been here for just over a year, and I think the biggest challenge has been keeping our pace, so not going too fast in what we were doing. I know that, like, we share the same thing where it's like you just want everything right now. You have these visions and goals and you just want to attain it. And I think my husband and I are we're really hard workers and we don't do very well sitting still. So it's been just like go, go, go. And we've had to actually just learn to slow the pace down and spend time with the kids who are growing fast and just enjoy things the way they are now. So going from BlackYard Chickens to having a barn was a huge change. So we have our standard flock in the barn, and I think we're at about 25 there now. But like with our BlackYard Chickens, we were all about predator proofing and everything was like perfect. And so with the barn, it's been a challenge in that sense to keep the critters out. We've had some issues with rats and there's tons of wildlife along our property. There's bears and coyotes and things. So it's just been figuring that out and how to do it on a budget. But we've learned a lot in those terms. And then we have a bantam flock of about 20 silkies. And that is like that's my thing. Again, Luke would say they're useless, but I just love them. Like, right. I got my first silky and I was just like, these animals are so dumb and so fantastic. And I need
I'm
more.
Glad you said that. I'm not
they are.
Because they are not bright, but they are beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And they're just like, I think maybe some silky owners would get mad at me for saying this, but they are not very bright in my opinion. But I actually think that I like that because they're just sort of easy to figure out and they're good with the kids. So that's the other thing is we want to get the kids involved with all of the care for the animals. And so with the silkies, like they can do a lot of it because they're not as skittish as the other chickens and they can do a lot of their care. So that's been good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Tell me about the predator proofing, because here we have some of the same predators in Georgia. We have coyotes, raccoons. We don't have bears right here where I'm at. There are bears in Georgia, but Canada has real bears. So
We do.
tell me about that. How do you kind of prepare and try to protect them from those elements?
We're still learning. Actually, knock on wood, we haven't lost a bird yet to a predator. We almost did. Oh, another big one is hawks. So I would say our biggest risk is hawks. There was a massive hawk's nest in the trees right behind the barn last year. And so if we let them out to free range, like they were just circling the property. And so Luke was standing there filling a water, and one came down and grabbed a chicken like 3 feet from him. And it terrified us. Now it dropped the chicken, but we were just like, these creatures are bold and relentless. And so, the funniest thing is so we took that tree down that had the hawk's nest in it, by the way. And so that solved part of the problem. Yeah, it was dead. So we were just like, yeah, it can go. So they haven't rebuilt, but we've been trying to attract crows. And I've read that helps. And so, I've read if you leave an egg out here and there, like that can attract crows. And so we have had some. And so we see that as a good sign, and hopefully they'll keep some of the hawks away. But we're just careful. Like, honestly, I don't leave them out all day. I leave them out when I'm home and I can kind of keep an eye on them. We have a dog. It's a Labrador, so it's not at all a livestock guardian dog.
It looks really cute, though.
Yeah, she's sweet. She's again not the brightest either. Like, she's obsessed with chicken poo. I don't know if you've seen that on our page, but
I have, and I'm so glad y'all posted that, because our livestock protection dog is obsessed with any poo, chicken, pony, every poo. So I have to make sure she is like up to date on her deworming, and just making sure that she has every type of parasite pill possible on hand, because she loves poop. It's crazy. Yeah,
it's gross. Like, I can't stand the smell of any of that, but she seeks it out. Like, she would actually rather do that than try and get into their feet. But anyways, I think that the dog helps maybe a little bit with the hawks. I don't think she would protect them from something like a coyote, but just having her around, I think, is good.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, we're just trying to get a lot of hardware clocked down. Like, we skirt the runs. A barn is really hard to predator proof because the floor in our barn is dirt. So we're contemplating eventually having to add concrete to the floor. So just to kind of make it a little bit less easy for the rats to dig in.
Yeah.
It's a real problem, because, if you try and catch a rat and you just can't, like, you can't catch rats.
We had the same issue too with rats, because we were using open feed, and this is before I moved to our acreage. They were coming. I don't know where they were coming from, but once we got them in, it's very hard to get them out. So I actually had one of my buddies who was a exterminator. He came and he gave me some tips. He laid out some bait traps around the perimeter of the of where we are, like, so they would come and eat the bait and then leave and probably die somewhere else. And then we had some live bucket traps too, where they would like come up to get the feed and then just fall into the bucket. So we had caught like 8 that way. And then we just took them down to the forest and then just let them out there. So that's kind of how we were able to, like, break it down and get rid of the rats. Now, when I moved, I knew as soon as I moved, we put down those bait traps. Knock on wood, like you said earlier, we haven't had an issue with rats or mice since. Little mice, the chickens will eat them, but the rats, of course, they're an opponent. So we were able to keep that from happening by putting out some bait traps around our large coop and run and around the horse barn and a couple other places. And it was only like maybe $30 per trap.
So is that where, like, it has poison inside and it takes the poison back to the nest?
Right. But it's like so small the chickens can't get in it. but it's large enough for the rats to get in and out. And once they find an easy meal, they'll eat that and then leave before they even go inside the coop.
Right. Yeah, I think that's definitely one way to do it. We also tried something similar. We got barn cats at the same time.
We've reached that part of the show where we hook you up with some insider information. And this week, it's all about eating, pet, and pasture. And I got a 20% discount code for you. As farmers, we know the love and care it takes to raise happy and healthy animals. So choose the best when it comes to bedding, premium cut Timothy hay, and treats for your furry and feathery friends. So if you're looking for super absorbent hemp bedding or nesting pads for your laying ladies, look no further than Eaton Pet and Pasture. Check them out right now at EatonPetAndPasture.com. And first-time shoppers get a 20% discount by typing in Reec at checkout. That's REEC at checkout. Now let's get back to another excellent adventure.
But we were nervous about the cats finding the rats that had been poisoned.
Yeah.
But we haven't had any problems with that. So
That's
yeah, it's anything.
Mhm.
So I don't know what kind of feeder you guys use. Like, do you have one of those Tradle feeders or?
Not anymore. We just have an open feeder. So yeah, we have an open feeder. If it was a problem again, we would get one of those where they step on it and it opens up. But like you said earlier, we do have some bantams, and I don't know if they would be able to figure that out every day.
Yeah, definitely. For the silkies, there's like absolutely no way. I mean, they can barely see their food when it's right open in front of them. So
Right.
that would not be an option. But for our silkies, we have kind of a coop built into a shed. And so that's been easier to keep them from, knock on wood, the rats. They haven't found them yet. But yeah, it's the barn. And I know a lot of people who have chickens in a barn just kind of let them free range. We built a big run for them when we first moved in. So that way they can be outside, but not free ranging. Right. So
that's safe. That seems pretty good. You guys got a real good plan going there. When I visited Purina Farms here in not here, but in Missouri, they had pea gravel across their whole area where their chickens were in. Like outside, inside the coops and everything. They had like 12 coops, right? And across that whole area, it was just all covered in pea gravel. And they were saying that kept some things from digging in and digging out. And it was cheaper than concrete.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea to look into. We haven't priced out the concrete yet, but it'll probably be a next year project, I'm thinking at this point.
Gotcha. So if not, you may look into that too. I'll post some pictures too, so you guys can check it out. And I think we actually did a video about it when we were out there and had all the pea gravel down, and it looked really nice too. It looked really nice, and you said it was okay for the chickens' feet, and it kept them from getting eaten. That was the main thing.
So how would you clean that? Like, do you just hose it down, or?
Yeah. Just hose it down. Yeah, and it looked really good when I was out there too.
Yeah, it would look good. We have sand. And so that's going okay. Like, you can sift it, but it's pretty dry. Like, it's dusty, I'm finding, even though it's like the appropriate sand for a run. I find it pretty dusty. And there's benefits to it. We actually had this incident where we were planning everything, and Luke was in charge of doing the coop and the run. And he thought that we were going to do sand in the coop, so that was a bit of a mistake on that part. But
okay, no, we got you. So now that's great insight on it. Predator proofing in Canada. I know you guys have real predators. We're talking about bears and all that type of stuff. We don't have big bears. We got black bears here. You just go and they run off. No, I was just kidding. Don't do that. Don't try that at home.
I mean, it works for some, and then there's other ones who are just relentless and they know where to go for.
Right. How did you guys get into raising pigs, and what was the purpose of you getting?
We got into them. I think we were just kind of looking at all the different options of livestock, and we just felt intimidated by pigs. Okay. And then we heard about the Kuni breed, which is, I think, what made us really go for it. Is that breed is pretty gentle, they're friendly. They're supposed to be less likely to root up the ground, which is not true.
Okay.
So everybody knows it's not true. Like, they will still destroy the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, so the purpose was our daughter really wants to do 4-H, and so this was kind of like a beginning step into more livestock for that. And then we are going to process some of the pigs for pork, but you know, our whole mindset, and it's like, give them like the best life possible, love on them, like just have them raised in a really good place. And then, they do have a purpose, and that's where some of them will end up. But we just got some females, so we'll probably be breeding them at some point.
So if you're looking to start your flock, add to your flock, or maybe add a few ducks, chickens, or geese, My Pet Chicken is the website for you. And if you're just getting started, they even have a tool to help pick the perfect poultry for your backyard flock. Check them out today at mypetchicken.com. Right now, you can get $10 off when you join the SMS Club. mypetchicken.com. Raise fun, happy, and healthy chickens, from live poultry to coops and supplies. My Pet Chicken has everything you need to start, grow, and maintain your backyard flock. Shop today. mypetchicken.com. I understand. No, that's the same route I was going to go with turkeys. Like, everything on our place is basically rescues, except for a few of the chickens and maybe 2 of the ducks. But everything else is a rescue, so we use them for the for a purpose of our Eggcellent Adventures petting zoo, right? To take them around and introduce kids into farm animals and agriculture and stuff like that. But the turkeys, we're thinking about getting turkeys for Thanksgiving purposes, like for, to processing purposes. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. And like you said, you give them the best life, and they repay you with being able to provide nourishment. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you know where they've been raised and that they've been well cared for. And that's kind of peace of mind as well. And the kids need to know, like, this is one thing we're really feeling is like, I don't know if you've heard them say this, but it's like kids nowadays, like, have lost touch with where their food comes from.
Yeah, people in general.
Yeah, everybody, I guess, really, except farmers.
Right.
So, yeah, we're trying to sort of bring awareness to that, and same with like the effort put into growing food and things like that. So yeah, that's where we're at with the pigs.
That's cool. So you say your daughter wanted to get into 4-H, and that's where you guys went down that route. What were some of the things that were true about the Kuni, I guess, pigs? What were some of the things you read that were true? Because rooting, I know, wasn't. They said the same about potbellies. They rooted my whole yard in like 10 minutes. So
yeah, they make a mess. Like, we have them in this circle pen, and they had that dug up, I want to say, within like a week of them being in there. So that's not, and even when we let them out, so they're in a pen all the time. And then we have, we fenced off this other section of our property, and it kind of runs along the Niagara Escarpment, and it's forestry for the most part. So we let them out there, but they actually just head to the grass and dig up the grass when they have like an entire forest to forage from. But no, they're very, very friendly birds. Like, they're birds. I'm so used to saying that about my chickens.
Right.
They're very friendly pigs. Partially, I think, because of the breeder that we got them from. Like, she socializes with them from the beginning. But our 9-year-old does almost all of the chores for the pigs. So, yeah, they're easy to handle. She goes right in the pen and socializes with them and things. So I would say that's a big thing. We have tasted the meat, not from ours, but from friends of ours, and it's pretty good meat.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I would say those things, and their personalities are great. Like, we've never owned other pigs, but we love their personalities. They're pretty funny to watch, and their whole herd dynamic is pretty interesting to watch. So
Do they kind of have a dynamic like chickens? 'Cause I know chickens, when they develop that pecking order, you could tell who's in charge. You could tell who isn't. You can tell who's like wants to be in charge. Can you see that with the pigs as well?
Definitely. Yeah. So when we had the two, we noticed one was growing a lot faster than the other, and it's still much bigger. And so when you watch them, you notice that he's just more aggressive with the food, and he's just the more dominant of the two boys. And then when we added in the new pigs this last month, you can just see them kind of fall into order. It was a bit scary the first day we got them. There was quite a bit of fighting, and like one had a bloody ear, and it was scary, but the breeder told us, like, don't worry, like they will sort themselves out. It's just like chickens. They have a pecking order, and they won't kill each other. You just have to let them do their thing. And same with chickens, like they met through a fence for the first day, and that helps them just to kind of have a little bit less shock when they get in there. But I would say it's similar to chickens, but on a day-to-day, when they fall into their pecking order, they're less aggressive. Like I find chickens really mean sometimes to each other.
They are.
Sure you do too.
I better break up a fight yesterday.
Yeah, they're awful. Like
We've known each other for 3 years. What are we arguing about today?
Yeah, but no, it's been really good. I think that I would encourage anybody to try pigs. Definitely this breed would be my choice. So
cool. I just had my first pig litter, but it wasn't planned. Like I got 2 rescue pigs. We scheduled one of them to get neutered or fixed. And the week of his scheduling, he broke through his little area and got busy with mama pig. And now fast forward 4 months later, we have babies. So.
And how was that? What do they call it? Welting? No. What's the word when they?
Oh, they're what, suckling? I don't know. Well, I don't know what it is. They're whelping. That's puppies. I know what it is for dogs. I don't know what it is. They're having a great time. They're getting huge. They're only a week old this week, and I can see they're double in size already. You can tell which one is more aggressive with the food because he's huge. And everybody's eating well. They're exploring. They're like getting out, running around the pen a little bit. I'm hand feeding them every day just so they can get used to people, because I want to take at least 1 or 2 of them around when we do these, like I said, the Eggcellent Adventures, and introduce them to kids. But it's fun, man. You can see their personalities kind of coming out and everything already.
So when they were born, were you like standing by? I've just heard a lot of things about losing piglets by mom like laying on them or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with one. I wasn't there when they were born. I came right when the last one was out, probably a couple of minutes. So she had 5. One of them wasn't doing well at all, but I think he had fluid in his lungs. So we were trying to do everything we could to, get him to where he needed to be, but it was 6 hours of work on him. He didn't make it, but the other 4 were very healthy. So they're doing well. They're doing well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was worried about that too. Her just plopping down on them, and because when she wants to lay down, that's it. There's no stopping her.
Yeah, I've heard of different things you can do, but that will be a first experience for us. I've heard a lot of people say they'll stay the whole night up just sitting by their pigs while they have their piglets, just to be careful. But anyways, yeah, it's all a learning experience, I'm sure.
Absolutely. No, but it's been pretty fun, which I can imagine on you guys' end it is as well, especially with the breed that's like nice and friendly, and then your daughter's taking care of them. It kind of brings a family together, which brings me to my next question. Like, how is it? Can you tell, I guess, your family dynamic, has that changed for the positive since you've moved to the homestead?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like there's been challenges. Like we moved and we were kind of like so excited to give the kids this property to explore. And there was still like initially just kind of a bit of hesitation and like a bit of grieving the place where we were before. But they love it here. I would say our oldest is enjoying it the most because she's the one to be like out in the forest with the animals, and doing work. Like she really enjoys doing work, like Luke and I. And the other two are more kind of less likely to get their hands dirty. I don't want to say lazy because I don't think we should say kids. But
I had the same dynamic. We got one gung ho, and the other two are like, yeah.
Yeah. But like that's the fun part about it is this finding things that they can do here that, you know, they do enjoy and that they can gain confidence in. So with the middle one, like we're really encouraging her with cooking because she enjoys to be in the kitchen. So
yeah, we're
doing that. And the food, so like it's a direct link, right? Like she likes to be in the kitchen cooking, and so she's in the garden getting the raspberries and things. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
definitely, it's been great. I think for the family, I think even the challenges have been great. Like when you see problems in this journey and you just tackle them head on and you be creative in finding a solution, I think that's good for them to learn those things.
Now, that's incredible. I also have noticed, like, even with my eggs and a couple of things that I did grow, mainly the potatoes, I tasted a difference right away. You guys, I'm sure, have been seeing the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everything's fresher. We like having the eggs. We eat silky eggs. So that's one of the biggest questions we get is, do silkies lay eggs? And yeah, they do. They lay eggs. They're small.
Yeah.
But like we have enough that we just eat silky eggs and we sell the rest. And then that helps kind of pay for some of the feed. So yeah, you can taste the difference. Like it's pretty incredible.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. What are some of the products that you guys use on the farm? Like some things that you kind of use day to day, or a thing that you didn't expect to use a lot? Like with me, for example, I use zip ties a whole lot. So what are some things that you guys use, or some stuff that you think is pretty cool that you found to be useful?
Zip ties, we use a lot of zip ties also.
Okay.
I would say we've gone through like 3 sets of garden pruners. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but like they seem to break or just get dull a lot. So that's one thing I go through a lot of. Trying to think, like, actually our landscape is really rocky. So that's been a huge challenge is like we can't really plant much in the ground because of the rock. But our lawnmower, like we had this lawn tractor and it was fairly new when we moved, and it's taken a beating because of all the rock.
Rocks, yeah.
So I like to do the lawn mowing. I find that fun. So I'll be out there and then all you hear is just like ping, ping, and like the blade after like one season was shot. So I would say, yeah, we use that a ton, but it's been a challenge to find something that works that way. So we're still picking rocks. Like we go around trying to dig them all up, but I would love a tractor. That's one thing that I don't know if you guys have one or not. No,
not yet. It's coming.
Yeah. It's such a huge cost, and you kind of think, oh, we don't need one. Like we have a lawn tractor that can have a wagon, but that's something we definitely need and hope to get one day, maybe.
Yeah, especially if you get llamas, you're gonna need hay.
Yeah, and we're buying like all these small bales, which are getting hard to find now. So, yeah, eventually a tractor.
Got you. Tell me about your dream animal. Like, if you just could just have an enclosure and have a dream animal, what would that be?
Oh my gosh, that's really hard.
Well, give me 3 then, because you might like us. Give me 3 dream animals.
Okay, honestly, if I could have anything in the world, a dolphin.
Okay. I love that. All right.
I don't know how old you are, and I don't know if it's the same down there, but like people my age went through this phase where dolphins were like the thing. Everybody had dolphins.
Flipper. Yes. So yes.
Yeah. So that's where it began, and I'm still just like obsessed with dolphins. Like I wanted to be a marine biologist before I became a nurse.
Same.
Oh, really?
I did. I wanted to work at the aquarium and be one of the dolphin trainer people.
Yeah, that is.
I did. I really did.
Same. I still like I go on vacation and I'm just like my eyes are constantly on the ocean just watching for dolphins jumping. But aside from that, I would say that I would really like an alpaca. And I would really like a mini horse.
Okay. I have one. You can come get her right now.
Does she have attitude?
Yeah, they say the lower to the ground, the closer they are to the devil. So, but they are like, they have a lot of personality. I really love them. I wouldn't trade them for the world. Like, I love having these ponies, but they do have their own ways and attitude.
Yeah, I've heard that. Everybody's like, have you owned horses before? Because if you have, like, you're more prepared for their attitude. So anyways, we have not owned horses, so it would just be.
Right. I want to give you that vote of confidence. I never owned horses. Last month made a year of us having those 2 ponies. So, and they've been good. One got sick once. We got the vet right out. They took care of it. She had a viral infection. She came through. Now she's just as feisty in attitude as ever, but we love her.
So that's how you started? Like, you started with the mini horses?
Yep. Started with 2 ponies. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would probably do next. But then you need a livestock trailer, or it would be good to have a livestock
Yeah, it would be good to have one. Luckily, we were able to get it. So ours came from a rescue situation. A rehome was an older gentleman. He donated us 2 ponies, and we bought one of his trailers from him. And so that worked out. But we're looking to get a new one soon because we want to be able to, now that they're like really acclimated, we're ready to take them out on the road with us to meet the children and stuff like that. So we're looking really, excited about those opportunities too.
Yeah, for sure. I would love one that you can take to birthday parties.
Yeah. Exactly.
Funny enough, our kids' friends are just like, if you get a horse, can you bring it to our house? And I was like, yeah, if they fit in my minivan, then I'll be there.
There you go. Yep. Mini horses can fit in the minivan. No, you put the seats down.
That's the plan.
There we go. And tell me about what is the thing that you've borrowed lately? Like something that you've borrowed, some information or tactic or something that you've seen on maybe social media and used on with your homestead.
I want to say the last thing would be we've had raccoons, like we talked about predators with chickens, and we've had raccoons and they're getting in the barn. So we were told just trap them and relocate them. So we borrowed a live trap that's big enough for the raccoons, and we've been trapping them and relocating them. As for advice, like, honestly, like, I think that every time I'm on social media, I learn something from another chicken keeper. There is things that you kind of have to think over, I guess, first, that you read about on the internet with chicken keeping. I'm sure you found that too. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know even specifically what the last thing. Oh, I know. So we had a silkie sitting on eggs, and which they're great for. Like, they hatch almost all of our eggs because they do all the work, and just makes it really easy. But one of the eggs cracked, and there was about 5 days left until hatch day. And so a friend of mine said to put wax on it. So, like, melt wax on a candle and just put it on the place where the crack is, and they may or may not survive. But that worked, and they hatched yesterday, I want to say. So that was neat.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did not know that. Thank you. We're going to share that. This clip will be shared. That's cool. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Like, I was really worried that, they talk so much about humidity and bacteria getting in the shell, but I probably caught it early enough that I just did that, and it seemed fine. It wasn't a big crack. Like, it's not like half the egg was broken, but yeah, it seemed to work.
That's really cool. I'm glad you shared that with us. And I did see on your post that you had new life in the incubator. So that was pretty cool to see too.
Yeah, lots. We have some with silkies, and then like hatching with silkies. And then I have a bunch of silkies hatching in my incubator right now.
Got you. If it's one piece of advice you can give to anybody who is about to do what you did, switch from like a little subdivision to a homestead, what would you tell them?
I would say take it easy, like take it slow. There were things that I think we did in haste and maybe didn't think through maybe far enough ahead. And so like I said, there's just so much to do. Like, it's so exciting to move to a homestead and you have a million things on your list that you want to try. And I think that it's tempting to just jump into it maybe without knowing enough about it, or take on too much so that you can't do things as well as you want. So I would just say take it slow. Actually, the previous owners of this house said something to me when I talked to her about this. And she said her like life lesson has been, you can have everything, but not all at the same time.
Okay.
And that has stuck with me, because I'm just like, this place is phenomenal and there's so much that we want to do, but it's like one step at a time.
Gotcha.
And our kids are only little ones, so we don't want to be so busy that we miss out on that. So I think that's what I would say.
That's a great lesson. You can have everything, but not all at the same time. We're going to leave it just like that. Sarah, we appreciate you coming down and on, the internet and meeting with us and talking to our audience, because you shared some great gems.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was good to meet you.
Absolutely. In person, almost.
Yeah, almost, basically. And the next time you want to come to Canada, then you know where to visit.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Eggcellent Adventures, powered by BlackYard Chickenz.
Now, if you think you want to raise your own backyard flock, here's the site for you, BlackYardChickens.com. We make entertaining videos about raising baby chicks from scratch. You know what I mean by from scratch, right? Or maybe you want to learn how to take care of your own big chickens or hens and get those fresh eggs, building a coop or buying a coop, having the necessary things inside that coop to get great egg production. You'll learn a lot of the neat tricks I've picked up along the way from other chicken enthusiasts, and you can get pretty eggs just like those. So follow us on social media and check us out on our YouTube channel.